Hello, I am Flash Isaac, and today I shall be taking you through Unizik Mathematics post-UTME past and likely questions with detailed solution. This class will focus on mathematics for engineering and physical science candidates. For other candidates, you'll find them very helpful. The questions and solutions right here. Look at something. Post-UTME is different from UTME, which means after UTME. And UTME is different from WAEC and your secondary school exam or even common entrance. In common entrance, with understanding of formulas, you are able to solve a lot of questions. But when it comes to post-UTME, you need a little touch of common sense and some touch of reasoning. Yes, you must use your coconut to pass post-UTME. You don't look at things shallowly. You are now matured. You need to be a deep thinker. Where this number one question will really expose what post-UTME is about and what it tries to check. So without wasting much time, take a bottle of chilled water, relax, and let me take you through past and likely Unizik post-UTME mathematics questions with detailed solution. By the way, feel free to check out the Flash Learners channel for topic by topic classes, post-UTME questions for other subjects and all other examinations. A rectangular picture of area 48 cm squared is enclosed by a frame half centimeter wide. If the length of the picture is 8 cm, find the area of the frame. Look at something. Even me, as a mathematics expert, trying to read this question, I am confused because I am getting different parts. So at such, many candidates will just feel, no, this one is hard. Let me go to the next question. When it comes to post-UTME, relax, analyze, and remember a little touch of common sense. A rectangular picture. What is a rectangle? Rectangle is simply four-sided shape, right? With length and breadth. So the longer part is the length and the shorter part is the breadth. Two opposite sides are equal and each of the angles equals 90 degrees. So meaning we have four sides and four angles. 90 plus 90 plus 90 plus 90. Is that 360 degrees? Yeah. Now look at something. This is a rectangle. And this is as well a rectangle. We can call this a portrait and this is landscape. Anyhow you choose that, look at it, this longer part is the length. This place is the breadth or the width, as you may call it. And in this case, here is the length, here is the breadth. Let's go with this. So they said a rectangular picture, which means we've arrived at the picture of area 48 centimeter square. What is area? Area is A is equals 48 centimeter squared. What do you understand by area? From primary school, primary 4, second term, week 2 of lecture, you are told that area of a rectangle is equals length times breadth, which means LB. If area of a rectangle is length times breadth, it simply means that we are told that area is 48, which means 48 is equals LB. If you multiply the length and the breadth, you get 48. So we've gotten a message. So we are interpreting the question. Is enclosed by a frame half centimeter wide. Wow. Now, in real life, this makes sense. I have a picture here. Can I remove it? Should I? No worry. I will snap and show it on the screen. This picture is enclosed in a frame. When you have a picture and you frame it, so this is the picture. You can choose, it can stand like this, it can stand like this, depending on the orientation, but that should not be a problem. So there is a frame, as you can see in the picture. So it says this frame is half centimeter wide. What does that mean? since this is the picture and this is the frame, so for the frame, from here to here is half centimeter. From here to here is half centimeter. From here to here is half centimeter. And from here to here is half centimeter. That is the frame. So this is the picture and this is the frame. What else? If the length of the picture is 8 centimeter, so this is the picture. Length is from here to here, like I said earlier, 8 centimeter. Find the area of the frame. Now take a look at something. We thought that the area of the picture is 48. Now they are telling us that the length of the picture is 8 centimeter. So L is equals 8 centimeter, which means 48 is equals L, 8 times B. So 48 over 8 is equals B. Dividing both sides by 8 to get the breadth. What does that give you? 6. So the breadth of this picture is 6 centimeter. Here is 6 centimeter and here is 8 centimeter. Now, remember a little touch of reasoning. If from here to here is 6 centimeter and here is from here to here is half and from here to here is half, it simply means that from here to here is half plus 6 plus half. This is equals 7. Now, if here to here is half, here to here is 8, here to here is half, it means from here to here is half plus 8 plus half equals 9. It therefore means that for the full area is 9 centimeter by 7 centimeter. So the area of this shape, area is equals length times breadth, and is equals 9 times 7 centimeter. That is equals 63 centimeter. Look at something. When you see option C, you get 63 centimeter. If you don't reason, you simply choose this and you are happy. You feel you are correct. By the time you see the result, you get so disappointed. This is why you need to think. This place and this place, it is not just the area of the frame. It is the area of the picture and frame. In fact, the full area of the shape, that is what is length 9 centimeter and width 7 centimeter, not the frame. So to get only the area of the frame, we subtract the area of the frame and picture from the area of the picture alone. The picture is 48 centimeter squared. So 63 centimeter squared, which is the total area of the shape, both the frame and the picture, minus the area of the picture alone, 48 centimeter squared, is equals 15 centimeter squared. And that is the area of the frame only. And that is option A. If the 4 interior angles of a quadrilateral are P plus 10 degrees, 2P minus 45 degrees, P plus 15 degrees, and P minus 30 degrees, then P is what? Quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is simply a 4-sided shape, and this is polygon. Polygon with 3 sides is triangle, 4 sides quadrilateral, 5 sides pentagon, 6 sides hexagon, 7 sides heptagon, 8 sides octagon, 9 sides nonagon, and 10 sides decagon. So, in a polygon, the sum of the interior angle, is equals n minus 2 times 180. This is the formula for the sum of interior angle of a regular polygon. Or you say 2n minus 4 times 90. They are the same. That is the formula for the sum of interior angles of a regular polygon. Now, they are giving us the interior angles already. That since we have a quadrilateral which is 4 sides, then 4 angles. The sum of the interior angles 1, 2, 3, 4 is simply equals n minus 2 times 180. What does that mean? It simply means P plus 10 plus 2p minus 45 degrees plus p plus 15 degrees plus p minus 30 degrees. Everything is equals n minus 2 times 180. So these are the interior angles. The sum of the interior angle of the polygon is equals n minus 2, 180. So from mathematics to English, English to mathematics. It makes sense to you, right? Now look at something. They said if the 4 interior angles, and from here 1, 2, 3, 4, this polygon or this shape is 4-sided. And what is n? N represents the number of sides, which implies that n is 4. So 4 minus 2, that is 2. 2 times 180 is 360. So the sum of the interior angle of a polygon with 4 sides is equals 360 degrees. Because since it has 4 sides, here is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 times 180, 360 degrees. This implies that p plus 10 degrees plus 2p minus 45 degrees plus p plus 15 degrees plus p minus 30 degrees is equals 360 degrees. What else? Simple primary school mathematics. P plus 2p, that's 3p, 4p, 5p. So 5p. 10 plus 10 minus 45, that is minus 35. Minus 35 plus 15. It's like this, minus 35 plus 15. So 0, 2 minus 20. So you're owing 35, you paid 15, you still be owing 20. So it's now minus 20. So minus 20 minus 30 minus minus, that is minus 50. You are owing 20, you borrowed another 30. So minus 50 is equals 360 degrees. Ladies and gentlemen, anyhow you choose to do it, add the ones with p, add the numbers, you get minus 50. So 5p is equals 360 degrees plus 50 degrees. This moves to the other side to become positive. So 5p is equals 410 degrees. P is equals 410 degrees over 5. Dividing both sides by 5. And P should give you 82 degrees. So ladies and gentlemen, then P is 82. If P is equals 1, 2, 3 minus 2. What is P? So this is under matrices and determinants. If this is the first time you are hearing about matrices, you are still welcome on board. Anytime you are given P is equal something like this in the board with numbers, if you've seen something like this before, this is referred to as matrix. So P is equals this. We are asked to find P raised to the power of minus 1. If you've done indices and logarithm, if I say 1 over 2, this is something as 2 raised to the power of minus 1. If I say 1 over 3, this is something as 3 raised to the power of minus 1. What does it mean? Raised to the power of minus 1 simply stands for inverse. Inverse. So they are telling us that if this matrix is this, we should find the inverse of that matrix. First of all, let us understand this matrix. What type of matrix is this? This is simply a 2 by 2 matrix. 2 by 2 matrix is simply any matrix with 2 rows and 2 columns. 2 by 2. If you are asked to find the inverse of 2 by 2 matrix, the first thing you do is find the determinant. Second thing, find the adjoint. Third thing, divide by the determinant. Ladies and gentlemen, all these are grammar. let's see the reality. So if this is P, determinant is simply something like this. It means determinant of P. How do you find determinant of P? It is simply equals anything here times anything here minus anything here times anything here. That is how to find determinant of 2 by 2 matrix. So if I say minus 2 times 1 minus 3 times 2, that is it. We found the determinant. Let us break it down. This will be minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. 3 times 2 is 6. So there's already minus here. So minus times 6 is minus 6. So the determinant is simply minus 2 minus 6. That is minus 8. So minus 8. We've done the first step. The second step is to find the adjoint. Like I said, all these are grammar. See, this is a 2 by 2 matrix. To find the adjoint, we can say maybe P, A, D, J, or whatever. Since it's post UTME and it's OBJ, all these traditional thing doesn't matter. You'll be very fast. Even the first question I solved, you may not want to sketch the diagram, but so long you understand. So I'm teaching you the long ways for you to understand. After understanding, you can solve as fast as possible. Post UTME is speed. So don't feel I'm teaching you, I'm taking time in the hall. That's how you take time. No. Learn, understand, then your speed will be very, very astronomical. What is adjoint? How do you do that? Anything that is here, take it up. So this becomes minus 2. The one that is here, bring it down. It means shuffle this guy and this guy. So here remains. Meaning we are left with these 2 to fill. Now, anything that is here, change the sign. If here is 3, change it to minus 3. If it were minus 3, change it to 3. So since we have 3 here, change it to minus 3. We have 2 here, change it to minus 2. You find the adjoint of 2 by 2 matrix. So the next is we are dividing by the determinant. That will simply give you this adjoint. Minus 2, minus 2, minus 3, 1, divided by minus 8. This is the same thing as minus 1 over 8, minus 2, minus 2, minus 3, 1. So that is the inverse of the matrix, or of the matrix. In mathematics, we have equations, we have expressions, and inequality. If I say 2s plus 5, this is an expression because there is no equality sign. But by the time I say equals 0 or equals anything, it is now an equation. But by the time I begin to use sign like this, that, this, and this, I am now dealing with inequality, where this means greater than, this means lesser than, this means greater than or equal to, this means lesser than or equal to. We solve inequalities the same way we solve equation, except that when you multiply both sides by a negative sign or a negative number, the sign changes. And when you divide both sides by a negative number, the sign changes. If it were greater than, it becomes lesser than. And if it were lesser than, it becomes greater than. We will see that shortly. So given this, remember I said that we solve the inequalities the same way we solve equations, except that when you multiply both sides of the inequality by a negative number, the sign changes. Or when you divide both sides by a negative number, the sign changes. Or that in equation, if 2s is equals 3, it means 3 is equals 2s. But in inequality, if 2s is greater than 3, it doesn't mean that 3 is greater than 2s. It means 3 is lesser than 2s. So the reverse is not the case. That is basically it for you. So if we are solving the equation, we want to collect like terms. This implies that here we have s over 2 minus 2s over 5 lesser than minus 1 over 6 plus 1 over 3. So this comes to this side becomes minus, This goes to the other side, becomes plus, collecting like terms. So here we simply look for LCM. LCM of 2 and 5 is 10. Here LCM of 6 and 3 is 6. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times s, 5s, minus 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 4s. 2 times 2s, 4s. So here is 4s. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times minus 1, minus 1. Plus 6 divided by 3, 2. 2 times 1, 2. So 2. 4s, though. 5s minus 4s, s. So s over 10 is lesser than 1 over 6. So what do we do? If s over 10 is lesser than 1 over 6, we can, this is the same thing as 6s is lesser than 10. Cross multiplying. To get s, let's divide both sides by 6. So here divided by 6, here divided by 6. So s is lesser than 5 over 3. So that should be solution to this inequality. So is that in the option? If it's not, they are wrong. We are asked to make V subject. What is subject formula? Subject formula is a single variable that other variables are equal to. Here you see E as a single variable. It's equal to every other thing. So we are asked to let V stand alone and equal to every other thing. In this case, we have two V's. So what do you do in change of subject formula? You start simplifying until the one that you want comes out. So you begin to remove the distractions. Look at this. Given this equation, I can decide to write it like this. E is equals 16 u minus v over u plus v. If I do this like this, am I correct? Yes, I am correct. If I say this is the same thing as over 1, am I correct? Yes, I am very, very correct. If I cross multiply and say E times u plus v is equals 16 u minus v times 1, am I correct? Yes, I am correct. If I say this is the same thing as E u plus v is equals 16 u minus v, am I correct? Yes, I am correct. So since I have v here and v here, how about I decide to open up the bracket to see if I can collect v as like terms? Would that work? Let's try. If I open up here, I have EU plus EV. Then here is equals 16U minus 16V. I think it makes sense now. Yes, because there is V here, there is V here. We can call the ones with V's like terms. If that is true, collecting like terms, we simply have EV minus 6 plus 16V is equals 16U minus EU. There is something called factorization. When you have addition or subtraction and there is a common term, we can bring out that common term. So if I write out V, this becomes EV minus divided by V, E remains, plus 16V divided by V, 16 remains. So this is equals 16U minus EU. What remains? V is now outside. So if I divide here by E plus 16 and divide here by E plus 15, V has become the subject of formula. So here E plus 16, here E plus 16. So V is therefore equals 16 U minus E over E plus 16. So this is definitely the answer. So they may decide to package the answer for you. Maybe they factorize u. So that will be u here, u here. You bring out one u to have u 16 minus e over e plus 16 to be u 16 minus e plus 16. How many ways can the word malaria be arranged? When you are given a word to arrange, maybe mathematics, malaria, boy, school, as the case may be, in this case, malaria. So let me start with boy. B-O-Y. If I say how many ways can a boy be arranged? You can't. How many letters do we have in boy? B-O-Y, 3 letters. Then you simply write 3 factorial divided by. Now, is any of the letter repeated? No. So therefore, boy can be arranged in 3 factorial ways, or 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6 ways. That is the number of ways we can arrange boy. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. 10, this is factorial. 10 factorial is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Where I give you any number and factorial under, it means multiply the number from itself down to 1. Now look at malaria. How many letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 letters in the word malaria. So 7 factorial over any of the letters repeated. Yes. Only A is repeated. We have A 3 times, meaning A have 3 times. So a letter is repeated 3 times, 3 factorial. If it were something like this, let's say, okay, arrow. If arrow were to be here, let's say malaria, it simply means A repeated 3 times, 3 factorials, arrow 2 times, another 2 factorial. But here, only A is repeated. And if it were just only 2A, malaria, instead of 3 here will be 2 factorial. But since this appeared 3 times, here is 3 factorial. What is 7 factorial? 7 factorial is simply 7 times 3 times 5, 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. So 3 times 2 times 1 cancels 3 times 2 times 1. So malaria can be arranged in 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 ways. That should give you, I guess, 840 ways. So I said that the sum of interior angles of a regular polygon is n minus 2 times 180 or 2n minus 4 times 90. They are the same. So look at something. In this case, we are told that the regular polygon has interior, each of the interior angles is equals 108 degrees. They did not give us the sum of the interior angles. Sum not given. They said each. So don't come and substitute 108 degrees here in this formula and start solving. No. They said each, not the sum. So this formula will not work because we are given each of the interior angles of the regular polygon and we are not given the number of sides. So we can't tell all other sides. There is a formula for calculating or for solving this type of question. When we are given each interior angle of a regular polygon and asked to find the number of sides, you simply say 2n minus 4 over n times 90 is equals 108 degrees. So 2n minus 4 divided by n times 90, or this guy divided by n, is equals each of the interior angle. So this formula now is now each interior angle So anytime you are given each interior angle of a regular polygon, you simply use this formula to solve, or you just put it like this. It's the same thing as equals n minus 2 180 all over n. So each interior angle is 108 degrees. Therefore, 108 degrees is equals 2n minus 4, 90n. So 108n is equals 180n minus 360 degrees. When you cross multiply, 180 times n is 108 times n is 108n is equals 90 times 2n is 180n minus 90 times 4 is 360, if I am correct. So from here, when you collect like terms, 360 degrees is equals 180n minus 108n. So 360 degrees should be equals 72n. So n should be solving this should get 5. So the number of sides is equals 5. This implies that the sum of the interior angle of this polygon is 108 degrees times 5. That is the sum of the interior angle. Find the radius of a circle in which an arc of length 44 cm subtends angle 200 degrees at the center of the circle, taking pi to be 22/7. Look at this. Find the radius of a circle in which an arc of length 44 cm subtends angle 200 degrees. Now we know that the area of any circle is pi r squared. Looking at this, you see an arc. An arc. It means that we are getting the radius from arc of the circle. This is the reason I brought out these formulas. They are very, very important in measuration and circle geometry especially. When you are given any circle and you are referring to an arc, the length of arc is equals theta over 360 times 2 pi r. This is the length of an arc. Theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Here they say find the radius. It simply means that radius is not given. That's 1. 2. In which an arc of length 44 cm. So the length of arc is 44 cm. Pi is 22/7. You see? And the angle subtends angle 200 degrees at the center of the circle. So theta is 200 degrees. With this, you have everything that you want. Therefore, the length of arc 44 is equals theta 200 degrees over 360 times 2 times 22/7 times radius. This is the same thing as 44 is equals 20/36 times 44/7 r. So from here, okay, this is the answer. 44 times 36 times 7 over 20 times 44 is equals r. So this is 36 times 7 over 20 is equals r. What did I do? This is the formula for length of an arc. Theta over 360 times 2 pi r. We are given the length of the arc to be 44 cm. And we are given the angle the arc subtends, which is theta, to be 200 degrees. And we are asked to take pi to be 22/7. From this formula, we have the length of an arc, we have the angle, we have pi. So I simply made r the subject formula, which you can do directly to say that 360 times length of arc is equals theta 2 pi theta is equals r, making r subject formula. When you substitute, you get to this point. So 36 times 7/20 is equals r. Simplify 3/4 plus 1 whole number 1/4 times 1 whole number 1 over 2 minus 2 over 3. What does it mean? Anytime addition or subtraction is mixed with multiplication or division, we apply BODMAS. And what does BODMAS tell us? BODMAS is bracket of, which is exponential or power, division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. That should be the order of operation. So here we already have a mixed fraction. Here we have bracket. Here we have multiplication. We have subtraction, division, sign, which are fraction. Like I said, anytime addition or subtraction is mixed with multiplication or division, you apply BODMAS. That is the order of operation. So you have multiplication, you have addition, subtraction, bracket. BODMAS obviously comes. Now, take note of something. Whether you are doing BODMAS or not, anytime you have a mixed fraction, make sure you change them to improper fraction. But let's deal with the bracket. That is 3 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 4 times. To convert mixed fraction to improper fraction, the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator divided by the denominator. So 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 3 over 2. So this is 3 over 2 minus 2 over 3. So we've not settled the BODMAS. We just converted from mixed fraction to improper fraction. So this gives us 3 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 4 times. To deal with this place, we look for the LCM. The LCM of 2 and 3 is 6. 6 divided by 2, 3. 3 times 3, 9. Minus 6 divided by 3, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4. Giving us 3 over 4 plus 1 whole number 1 over 4 times 5 over 6. 9 minus 4 should be 5 over 6. So if you converted here to improper fraction 6, it will be very nice. But some persons are sentimental, they will say, do only bracket first. So anyhow you do it, you are correct. This is 3 over 4 plus, converting this guy to improper fraction. 4 times 1, 4 plus 1, 5. 5 over 4 times 5 over 6. The next thing is what? We've done brackets. No division right now. Multiplication next, which is this and this. So 3 over 4 plus 5 times 5 is 25 over 4 times 6 means 6 into 4 places. So 6 into 2 is 12, another 12, that's 24. So 4 times 6 is 24. So 24. 3 over 4 plus 25 over 24 is simply the simplified version. The next question is a variation question. It says if n varies directly as m, this is under direct variation. In direct variation, like in this case, n varies directly as m, which means n is directly proportional to m. Direct variation means as one quantity is increasing, the other one is increasing. But for inverse, if I do something like this, it means n is inversely proportional to m. In this case, as n is increasing, m will reduce. As m is increasing, n will reduce. But we don't solve with proportionality sign. Anytime you are given question in variation, you change proportionality sign to equality sign. How do you do that? Anywhere you see this, change it to equals k. So if m varies directly as m, or n is proportional to m, changing this to equals k, you simply have n is equals km. Why do we introduce constant? Proportionality sign is different from equation. N is proportional to m does not mean n is equals m. No, it means they vary. So to account for what is lost, a constant is being introduced, because it's a crime to say that this is equal to no. And in variation, The first thing you try to find is the constant, because they will give you the other values to find the constant, and they will tell you what happens if this other quantity changes. That is the whole essence of variation. So here, k will simply be equals n over m, dividing both sides by m. Now they said if n varies directly as m and n is 8 when m is 20, so k is equals n is 8 when m is what? 20. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, 20 divided by 2 is 10, 4 divided by 2 is 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the constant is 2 over 5, and it says find m when n is 7. So n is now 7. What is m? Is that not what they said? Find m when n is 7. What you simply do is bring out this formula again. N is equals km. Now constant doesn't change, which means this constant can still work here. 7. And 2 over 5 constant can still work here. Then n is now 7. What is m? If n is 7, 7 is equals 2 over 5 m, where 2 over 5 is the constant and this is n. Cross multiplying 7 times 5 over 2 is equals m. What is 7 times 5? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. 35 over 2 is equals m. So that is the value of m when n is 7, m is 35 over 2. This is why I told you that post-UTME require a little touch of reasoning. It says if 2x plus y is 7, 2x plus y is equals 7, and 3x minus 2y, 3x minus 2y is equals 3. By how much is 7s greater than 10? By how much is 7s greater than 10? Which means, in a normal case, they give us simultaneous equation to solve. We solve and get answer. But now, nobody is interested in your answer. They are simply interested in you finding s and check, multiply s by 7 and ask yourself, by how much is it greater than 10? You see? So, as usual, we don't rush to read everything. Let's start from the basis, or let's do it step by step. 2x plus y is equals 7. Let's call this equation 1. This is a simultaneous equation with two variables. And anytime you have two variables, you expect two answers. You find the answers to the two variables. And 3x minus 2y is equals 3. So you call this equation 2. What do? You will decide whether to solve this equation using substitution method or using elimination method. In this case, I choose to use the elimination method. I want to eliminate y. Why? Because I am much interested in s. So let me remove y and get s. How do I do that? I will look for something, a number to multiply equation 1 and a number to multiply equation 2. So that after the whole multiplication, the coefficient of y and the coefficient of y will be the same up and bottom. Now from here, it should be very, very easy. If I say equation 1 times 2 and equation 2 times 1, obviously, once equation 1 times 2, here will be 2y. Equation 2 times 1, equation 2 will remain. Here will remain 2y. So, we can eliminate. So, let's do that. Equation 1 times 2 will simply be 4s plus 2y is equals 14. So, let's call this equation 3. Equation 2 times 1 is equals 3s minus 2y is equals 3. So, let's call this equation 4. Right now, you can see that the value of y here and the value of y here are the same. What do? Add equation 1 and 2. Adding equation 1 and 2, 4s plus 3s is 7s. And look at this, 2y 2y plus 2y plus, this is the add that we are adding. Then here is minus 2y, minus 2y. So 2y plus minus 2y is the same thing as plus 2y plus and minus. Plus times minus, minus will always win. So minus 2y. So plus 2y means you have 2y. Minus 2y means you owe 2y. By the time you settle it, everything balance, it goes to 0. So what happens? 7s plus 0 is equals 14 plus 3. That will give you 17. Am I correct? Yes, 17. So 7s is equals 17. S is equals 17 divided by 7. How much is 7s greater than 10? What is 7s? 7s is simply equals 17 over 7 times. 7s is simply 7 times 17 over 7. What is 7 times 17 over 7? It is simply 17. So 7s is 17. Now, by how much is 17 greater than 10? 17 is greater than 10 by 7. So by how much is 7s greater than 10? Is simply 7. That is it. Take a look at the last set of questions for this class. Now you may be wondering, will there be part 2? Yes, if this video gets 20,000 views, I will release part 2. But these are the sensitive questions and top questions that I feel needs attention. Like Unizik. Unizik statistics questions are usually cheap. Maybe you are given certain number and asked to look for the median for statistics. You arrange the number in ascending or descending order. Look for the middle number. And if the two numbers are at the middle, add them and divide by 2. So Unizik hardly asks questions under median of grouped values. For mean or average, you add the numbers, divide by how many they are. For mode, the number with the highest frequency, and other questions I didn't touch. But there are other questions as well that ought to make it to the video. But for many reasons, they are not here. But with these ones, I am sure you are good to go. So long Unizik mathematics for engineering and physical science is concerned. So let's focus on this. It says, find the roots. Find the quadratic equation whose roots are s is equals minus 2 or s equals 7. Now, while reading the question, you notice how I wanted to read it. I wanted to say, find the root of the quadratic equation. That is the normal question. But this time around, you are given the roots and asked to find the quadratic equation, not the quadratic equation asking you to look for the root. So if these are the answers to the quadratic equation, what is the question? What is the quadratic equation? Luckily for us, we have the formula. When you are given roots of quadratic equation and asked to find the quadratic equation, you simply say s squared minus sum of roots s plus product of roots is equals 0. This is the formula. So you are given s squared minus sum of roots simply means addition of the roots. So the first root is minus 2 plus the second root is 7 plus 7. Now this minus is already in the formula. So you have to put this bracket to account for minus that may be in the roots. So s is here plus product of roots simply means multiplying the roots minus 2 times 7 is equals 0. So s squared minus 2 plus 7, that is 5. 5 times s, 5s minus 14 is equals 0. So s squared minus 5s minus 14 is equals 0. That is the quadratic equation whose roots are minus 2 and 7. And this one says, while doing physics practicals, John recorded a reading as 1.12 cm instead of 1.21 cm. What is the percentage error? Anytime you are given question under percentage error is equals error over exact measurement times 100. This is the formula. Look at it. John recorded a reading as 1.12 cm instead of 1.21 cm. Now look at it. What is the error? Error is simply the difference between the correct one and the wrong one. That is simply 1.21 minus 1.12 over exact, or the correct reading is 1.21. So 1.21 times 100. So this is 0.09 over 1.21 times 100. That is the answer. Now look at this. Anytime you are given a question on business and asked to look for the percentage profit or percentage loss is simply, or loss percent, is simply cost price minus selling price over cost price. So if you are looking for loss, cost price minus the selling price, that is the loss. Because for there to be loss, it simply means that the cost price is higher than the selling price. So when you subtract cost price from selling price, divide by the cost price, possibly times 100, you get the percentage loss. Profit, selling price minus cost price divided by cost price. So there are questions under percentage profit and loss in Unizik post-UTME. Most of them require you to have the knowledge of the formula and substitute or change subject formula as the case may be. And here it says, a sum of money was invested at 8% per annum simple interest. If after 4 years the money amounts to 330 naira, find the amount originally invested. Now, in a question that seems like simple interest, anytime you hear amount, simple interest should leave your mind. You should go to compound interest. That is where amount is advertised. Now look at something. Amount is principal plus interest. So when you add interest to principal, you get amount in compound interest. Now what is interest? Interest or simple interest is principal times rate times time all over 100. In that case, when you substitute that here, amount is equals principal plus principal times rate times time all over 100. So we are given the rate. 4 years time 4. R is equals 8%. T is equals 4. Amount to. So amount is 330. We are even given the amount. So a sum of money was invested at 8% per annum simple interest. If after 4 years the money amounts to 330 naira, find the amount originally invested. That is the principal. The amount originally invested is the principal. So remember, in compound interest, interest is even paid on interest. So the amount originally invested is the principal. So since we are looking for principal, we have P here, we have P here. The knowledge of change of subject formula comes to play. So I can say A is equals 100 P plus P RT. What did I do? I look for the LCM. So from here, I can say that 100 A is equals 100 P plus P RT. 100 A is equals P 100 plus P R. So principal simply becomes 100 A over 100 plus P R. This is 100 times amount is 330. 330 over 100 plus ROT rather, yes, ROT. ROT will be remaining here. So rate is 8% times time 4 years. So this is the principal amount originally invested. Will that give you 250? Yeah, probably find out if that will give you 250. It says a trapezium has two parallel sides of length 5 cm and 9 cm. Trapezium. If the area is 21 centimeter cube, find the distance between the parallel sides. Let's assume you don't understand the question, but you know that the area of a trapezium is equals half a plus b times h, which is half times the sum of the parallel sides. In this case, we are given a trapezium has two parallel sides of length 5 centimeter and 9 centimeter. So A and B are given. So let's say A 5 and let's say B 9. And area is equals 21. What are we looking for? The distance between the parallel sides. That is simply the height of the trapezium. If you did not know before now that we are looking for height, from this, knowing that we have A and B, sum of parallel sides, we have area. The only missing term there is the height. So from here, the area of the trapezium 21 is equals half 5 plus 9 times height. So 21 is equals half 14 height. 21 is equals 7 height. 14 divided by half, or 14 times half, or 14 divided by 2, you simply get 7. Dividing both sides by 7, height should be equals 3, because 7 times 3 is 21. So 3 cm, 5 cm, and 9 cm. That settles that question. It doesn't have much problem. And the next question says, an aeroplane flies due north. I deliberately kept this for last. When it comes to bearing or latitude and longitude questions, a lot of persons tend to have issues with bearing. Like I told you, these things requires a little touch of common sense. You need to have some touch of common sense and wisdom. And funny enough, if you are a thinker, most exams will not be hard for you. They are what you already know plus a touch of thinking. They want you to think outside the box. That is it for most exams. Look at this. The question is long. An aeroplane flies due north from airports P to Q and then flies due east to R. If Q is equidistant from P and R, find the bearing of P from R. Me, I don't like reading questions continuously or so long. What I simply do is I try to break them down as I read. You see, I opened this one just now. That was finished. So you want to support the ministry? So you buy a carton of marker, you use half, the other half, one problem or the other, and they won't even last. So now an aeroplane flies due north. What should you do? You are given a cardinal point. In cardinal point, we have north, south, west, and east. So if an aeroplane flies due north from airport P to Q, so we can call here airport P. So this aeroplane flies due so let's call this airport P. The aeroplane flies due north from airport P to Q. Now they did not give us the angle, maybe so degree. Since it says due north, it means it went straight from airport P to, let's call this airport Q. So here it has its own cardinal point: north, south, west, and east. So this is airport Q from P to Q. So we've done the first interpretation. This one says and then flies due east to R. Due east to R. So this is P, Q. It flies due east, it goes straight. They didn't say at an angle, due east. They didn't say 30 degree east or 45 degree northeast. This is northeast, southeast, southwest, north-south, like this at a particular angle. But when they say due north, it means straight. Due east goes straight. They didn't say incline, they didn't give you angle. So it went here, and they said what? And then flies due east to arrow. So here is arrow. It has its own cardinal point. Here is arrow. So in arrow, we also have north, south, west, east. And it says what? If Q is equidistant from P and arrow, where is Q? Q is equidistant from P and arrow. This is P, this is arrow. It means the distance from P to Q is the same thing as the distance from Q to arrow. So if you call distance from here to here, okay, let's say S centimeter, it also means that from here to here is S centimeter. What else? Find the bearing of P from arrow. So this is P, this is arrow. So let's join P and arrow. If this is P and arrow, from this place northeast to southeast, here is simply 45 degrees, and here is 45 degrees. 45 degrees plus 45 degrees is 90, and here is a right angle, 90 degrees, which means the sum of the angles in the triangle is equal. So the total angle here is 180 degrees, which is correct, because the sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degrees, sum of angles in a straight line 180 degrees, and sum of angles in a right angle triangle or whatever 180 degrees, angle at a point add up to 360 degrees, sum of angles in a circle 360 degrees. They say the bearing of P from Q. What does that mean? When you are doing bearing, we start from this north. We start from here. So the bearing of P from arrow is simply from this place to here. What is the angle? Now look at something. This is the cardinal point, right? And they say here is 45 degrees. Remember, here is right angle. If this is 45 degrees, the other part is also 45 degrees. That place is like here. Here is 90 degrees. If you are cutting here, it means here is 45, here is 45. So here is 45 degrees. And look at this place. From here to here is a straight line. And sum of angles in a straight line is 180 degrees. So here is 180 degrees, and here is 45 degrees. So from here to here is 180 degrees plus 45 degrees. That is 18045. So 5, 12 carry 1, 2, 225 degrees. So this will give you 225 degrees. So that should be the bearing of P from arrow. So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Unizik Mathematics Past and Likely Questions for Engineering and Physical Sciences. I have videos for other subjects and for other classes, medicine, surgery, law, arts, what have you. So feel free to follow the Flash Channel, subscribe so you don't miss out any update. Thank you.